Hue was supposed to be a convenient one-night stop between Da Nang and Phong Na. Everything I knew about it was the Imperial City, royal tombs, basically history. I'm not someone who travels to remember every emperor and every date. But after just one day here, I realized we'd completely underestimated Hue. And surprisingly, the historical sites weren't even the main reason. With only one full day to see Hue, we rented a scooter and headed out to see what the city is actually famous for. And this is where the historical side surprised me too. Not because I suddenly became obsessed with emperors and dynasties, but because some of these places were simply beautiful. Even before reaching the top, the whole place felt dramatic. The dark exterior, the long staircases, the stone statues. And then you walk inside and suddenly everything changes. Color, mosaics, incredibly detailed ceilings. I definitely hadn't done much research before coming here, and knowing how badly this part of Vietnam had been affected by the war, I honestly expected to see a lot more ruins. So walking into a place like this was a real nice surprise. I wasn't expecting this level of detail and beauty at all. Next was Thien Mu Pagoda, and strangely, one of my favorite parts wasn't even the pagoda itself. It was the gardens around it. There were trees everywhere, and after months traveling through Southeast Asia, something about it suddenly reminded me of home. One thing I learned here that really stayed with me is connected to this car. It carried a Buddhist monk to Saigon in 1963, where he set himself on fire in protest against the government's treatment of Buddhists. It was a period of serious religious tension in South Vietnam, with the Catholic-led government accused of heavily favoring Catholics over Buddhists. Then we came back into Hue for the place almost everyone associates with the city, the Imperial City. And here, knowing some of the history absolutely adds another layer to the experience. But I don't think you need to study before you come here. There's already so much to appreciate just by walking through it. And I think this is what sometimes gets lost when Hue is described mainly as a destination for history lovers. You don't have to remember every dynasty or emperor to appreciate beautiful architecture. Sometimes beautiful is enough. What surprised me most about the city wasn't actually any of Hue's famous sites. It was the city itself. Hue just felt completely different from what I'd imagined. It was bigger, more spacious, and much livelier. People were walking along the river, sitting by the water, and there was this area nearby filled with groups playing sports and hanging out together. It sounds like such a normal thing, but the whole place just felt really alive. And while a lot of visitors seemed to gather around the streets with the bars and the restaurants, this part felt much more local.
It doesn't take a lot to impress me sometimes. Like, few lights would do.
We also bought this random coconut snack for 10,000 Vietnamese dong that was slightly confusing at first and somehow got better with every bite.
It is traditional, something traditional. I have no idea. I haven't even heard of this. Recommended.
There's one practical thing I'd keep in mind though. Hue's main sites are quite spread out. We had rides of around half an hour between some places, and once you add all the walking inside the sites, it becomes a pretty full day. So personally, I wouldn't try to squeeze every royal tomb into one visit. I'd choose one or two that really interest you, see the Imperial City, and leave some time for Hue itself. One popular way to reach Hue from Da Nang is by train, which is known for being a really scenic journey. When we were there, we saw a lot of construction around the route, so the views weren't quite as magical as we'd expected. After all of this, would I spend 4 days in Hue? Probably not, but I also wouldn't reduce it to a rushed day trip if I had the choice. For me, 1 or 2 days with at least one night here feels about right. Give yourself an evening to experience Hue outside the attractions. 1 full day for sightseeing and then continue your route. That doesn't mean I think everyone needs to squeeze Hue into their Vietnam trip. If you only have 1 or 2 weeks, I wouldn't force it. But if you have around 3 weeks or more, or you're already traveling through central Vietnam, Hue becomes very easy to add, especially if you're moving between Da Nang or Hoi An and somewhere further north like Phong Nha. Is this Vietnam's most overlooked city? Maybe. I just know we arrived treating Hue like a convenient overnight stop and assuming the Imperial City would be the main reason to be here. And somehow, what I remembered most is walking beside the river that evening and realizing we'd completely underestimated the place. If I planned the route again, I wouldn't rush past Hue.